LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar.
He leads the NBA in turnovers per game. The Lakers are one of the worst transition defenses in the league, so that impacts that aspect of it because they're not good at that. Screaming at the refs, yelling at the refs, not even getting back in the frame.
The moment Stephen A. Smith leaned forward and said it, the whole studio felt tense. He claimed that LeBron James tried to shift the blame onto Luka Doncic after the Los Angeles Lakers suffered a tough loss to the Orlando Magic. This wasn't just normal sports talk. It was a serious accusation about leadership, responsibility, and legacy. For more than 20 years, LeBron has been one of the biggest stars in basketball. He knows how to deal with the media and control the narrative around him. But when someone like Stephen A. Smith publicly questions him, the conversation spreads fast and becomes a huge debate among fans, media, and even inside the league. This story isn't only about one bad game. It's about how a leader reacts when things go wrong and whether LeBron handled that moment the right way. Let's go back to the game for some context. The Lakers and Magic were playing a close game. For a team built around a legend like LeBron, it should have been a routine win. But in the final minutes, everything fell apart. The Lakers made careless mistakes, missed defensive assignments, and their offense stopped working. Meanwhile, the Magic finished the game strong and secured the win, leaving the Lakers frustrated. After the game, LeBron spoke to the media and explained what happened. But some people felt his comments sounded like he was placing some responsibility on Luka's earlier decisions during a key possession. Stephen A. Smith quickly criticized that idea. He suggested that when things go badly, a true leader should take full responsibility instead of pointing to someone else. That opinion sparked a big reaction from fans, many of whom believe leaders should own their mistakes, especially on tough nights.
I just don't know if he's the leader that people are projecting him to be that actually match his statistical output.
Here's the part many people aren't talking about. This isn't the first time LeBron James has been accused of controlling the public narrative. Over the years, fans and commentators on social media have pointed out moments where LeBron's public comments about injuries, effort, or team issues seemed designed to shape how people would react later. In many ways, controlling the narrative has been one of LeBron's biggest strengths during his career. But that same strength also brings criticism. Some people believe that sometimes the focus becomes more about protecting the image than fully taking responsibility. So when Stephen A. Smith accused him of shifting blame, it wasn't just about one comment after one loss. Critics say it reflects a pattern they believe has appeared in several big moments. The real question becomes, does controlling the narrative sometimes replace taking full responsibility? This is where things could become a problem for the Los Angeles Lakers. Leadership issues don't only show up in statistics. They can slowly affect the culture of a team. If teammates start to believe their leader might redirect blame, trust can weaken. Coaches notice it. Front offices notice it. Even opponents notice it. Stephen A. Smith pushed the conversation further. He argued that a true leader should absorb the criticism and pressure so the rest of the team can stay focused. When that leadership role breaks down, a team can lose its identity. And losing that identity is dangerous for a team trying to win important games. Whether LeBron James meant to shift blame or not, perception matters. If a leader appears to criticize his own teammates publicly, it can create tension inside the team.
It seemed like you implied that he tried to hurt your career. Did something happen there?
I can't talk about it, but that's exactly what I said. It was validated when he went on Pat McAfee's show, because you went on the show that comes on after me to talk about me and to disrespect me.
Of course, blame and truth are not always the same thing. Statistics and game footage can explain some parts of the story, but they don't explain everything. In that game, LeBron James still had solid numbers, just like he has for many years. He scored, helped run the offense, and tried to push his team forward. But basketball is all about rhythm, and that rhythm often breaks down in the final moments of a game. In this matchup, there were missed defensive rotations and moments of hesitation that can't be explained by just one post-game comment. That's exactly the point Stephen A. Smith was trying to make. Great players don't rely on words when the pressure is high. They rely on actions when the clock is running out. Stephen A. didn't say LeBron is finished. Instead, he said the standard for LeBron should be higher, especially for someone who is often mentioned in the GOAT debate. That higher standard includes taking responsibility on difficult nights, both publicly and inside the locker room. This is also an important lesson for younger players in the league. Many young stars sometimes think controlling the media narrative is the same as showing leadership. But experienced veterans who win championships understand the difference. Real leadership is shown on the court and inside the locker room, not just in interviews. Stephen A. emphasized this point strongly because in today's NBA, short clips and viral moments spread quickly. Young players are always watching how the biggest stars react when things go wrong. If someone like LeBron James, who has handled pressure for more than 20 years, appears to shift blame, younger players might learn the wrong lesson. They might think avoiding responsibility and controlling the message is the right approach. And that can be dangerous because teams that want to win championships need a strong culture of accountability.
Did I think he crossed the line with the incident involving his son where he was telling me not to say anything? Of course I think, because I don't think I did what he said that I was doing. And I thought that was very, very unfair and it was a low blow.
Now let's look at the bigger picture. This moment is happening during a major generational shift in the NBA. Young superstars like Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic are becoming the new faces of the league. Along with many other rising stars, they're trying to prove they are ready to lead the NBA into its next era. These players want to win big moments on the court, not explain losses after the game. So when Stephen A. Smith suggested that LeBron James shifted blame toward a younger player, it sounded to some people like he was defending the next generation of stars instead of just criticizing a veteran. This situation is not only about personal criticism. It's also part of how the NBA slowly moves from one era to the next. When younger stars step up in clutch moments while older stars struggle or make excuses, conversations about who truly leads the league can change very quickly. Of course, many fans strongly defend LeBron. They point to his incredible career, his longevity, and the huge list of achievements he has built over the years. Supporters remind everyone about his legendary playoff performances, clutch shots, and the historic milestones he has reached. They also argue that Stephen A. Smith is doing something he often does, taking a controversial opinion, amplifying it, and turning it into a big debate that spreads across sports media. In reality, there is some truth on both sides. LeBron has earned respect and influence because he has constantly adapted and reinvented himself throughout his career. At the same time, Stephen A.'s criticism focuses on one key idea. When a message of leadership doesn't match what people see during a loss, fans usually want to see accountability rather than blame being redirected. The problem is that sports media often turns the discussion into two extreme choices. Either you defend LeBron James no matter what, or you immediately claim there is a leadership crisis. But the truth is often somewhere in the middle.
Thanks, Luka, what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance, didn't have a rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be, and it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. And I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but that's what I looked.
Here's another part many people are not talking about: the effects beyond the locker room. When moments like this happen, it's not just fans and media paying attention. Sponsors, league partners, and team executives are also watching closely. If a leader's comments start creating negative narratives about team culture, those stakeholders begin to think about long-term impact and brand image. This isn't exaggeration. It's simply how business works in professional sports. LeBron James isn't just a basketball player. He's one of the biggest global figures in sports. The way he reacts to criticism, accepts mistakes, and supports his teammates publicly can influence how the Los Angeles Lakers and even the National Basketball Association are viewed. That's why the comments from Stephen A. Smith go beyond just one basketball game. His criticism becomes part of a much larger discussion. So the debate eventually comes back to one main question: how should greatness really be judged? Is it only about statistics and achievements? Or does it also include how a player takes responsibility during difficult moments? Stephen A's argument was simple. If a player wants to be called the greatest of all time, they should stand up and take responsibility when things go wrong instead of shifting attention elsewhere. Throughout his career, LeBron has been very skilled at controlling the public narrative around him. But Stephen A believes there are moments when narrative control should step aside for clear accountability. And in the court of public opinion, that message connects with many fans because it feels straightforward and easy to understand.
Losing habits. I think he has bad habits. And there are two interesting factors that I think really play into his impact on the game is not aligned with the statistical output.
This story interesting. This debate forces fans to choose a side. Should leaders be held to a higher standard and always take responsibility when things go wrong? Or should controlling the narrative be accepted as part of modern leadership? If you agree with Stephen A. Smith, then the focus should be on the game itself. Look at the final minutes, study the plays, and ask whether LeBron James should have taken more responsibility after the loss to the Orlando Magic. But if you support LeBron, you might point to his entire career, his championships, his leadership over many years, and the way he has consistently performed at the highest level. Great sports debates are rarely calm or neutral. They are passionate, detailed, and supported by real evidence. So now the conversation moves to the fans. Look at the game footage, the quotes, and the context. Then decide for yourself. Was LeBron James actually shifting blame after the loss? Or was Stephen A. Smith simply creating a bigger controversy for headlines? Whichever side you believe, stand by your opinion. Because this debate might continue throughout the season, and how LeBron responds on the court, not just to critics, but to the game itself, will decide whether this moment becomes just a small footnote or an important chapter in his legacy.